So welcome to the next series of Geek Corner videos. Today we're looking at resource booking and monitoring and how you actually control your workspace. So I'm going to let Steve introduce himself. Steve.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm Steve. I'm the CTO and founder of Uma. We are a workplace technology platform supporting AV partners like yourself to visualize your workspace data, right from meeting room technology through to booking that space and understanding how the building's operating. That's our core product, and we're working with you guys on a few projects which we're here to look at today.
And what we're going to do is we're going to run through how you book stuff, how you visualize stuff, how you can monitor things, why that's important. So we'll move into the videos now.
Thank you.
So we're back with Steve from Uma. Steve, in addition to AV, what else can you monitor with your platform?
So yeah, one of the main things that we monitor outside of AV is our IoT sensors. So we work with a wide range of IoT sensors. We work with LoRaWAN sensors, N-Ocean sensors, MileSight, and we can actually work with a fair few that sit on that network. Pretty much anything that anyone wants. And what we tend to do there is break that down. So we can do temperature, humidity, CO2, air quality, energy levels, so monitoring energy usage, ambient noise, sound, water leak detection. We can kind of go as far as you want, really, to kind of make a smart space.
Brilliant. So can you show us some of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So this is our vision platform. So this is the sort of eyes that look into your organization, how you would do things on a day-to-day basis. So because we also do resource booking, we overlay those sensors onto that resource booking as well, which makes it really cool, really, to kind of see what's going on in the building versus what's actually happening in the building. So some of those things that we do here are in this dashboard, but our main sort of page here sits within this analytics dashboard. So if I can just press that. We're going to focus on this one zone that the guys have got here at 10AV. So what we can do is we can see a nice tile. So imagine you had lots of different rooms, spaces, zones, segments of your building all appearing in this area here. But we have one master area here in the main part, which is a capacity of 50. We've currently got 11 people in this building, and we can see from the start of the day when people started to arrive and move in with a threshold here. Now, as we run across the top, you can see all those different things that I talked about, all those air quality, temperature. So we can see, we've got a couple of temperature sensors in the building, so we can start to look at what the average temperature was. But what we can also do is filter out between yesterday, last week, and we can start to see last week we've had a steady 26 degrees, and that's probably down to the cooling system that's in here that's keeping it at that level. And again, we can go into humidity and start to look at that. We've got a good 50% humidity. And then CO2, that's another one that we talked about earlier on. So you can see here all these CO2 sort of spikes. So you can see here where the day starts and then we're spiking. So you can see that something happened. If I was to take a look in here on this day, on the 29th at around 5 o'clock, it peaked up to something like 1240 ppm, which is starting to get into the poor range.
So why do people care what the CO2 level is?
Well, I think CO2 plays a massive impact in mood. So if you're trying to get work done and you're spending your time saying, I'm going to come to the office in a hybrid world, you absolutely want to make sure that you're getting the best out of everyone that turns up. So CO2 might mean a bit of a dip in mood, tired, kind of feeling a bit lethargic. Either you've been to the pub and had a bite to eat, and you've come back and you're lethargic, or there's a CO2 imbalance which can cause that dip in productivity in my views and make you just feel generally tired.
So we're putting really inexpensive wireless sensors around the building, and then we can drill into the analytics and see.
Yeah, and then what you can do is cross-reference that to potentially an event. So it might be that there was a meeting in this space that was, had 40 people in it, or because it's the big showroom, then that would explain a little bit why the CO2 went up, because you have more bodies, more people talking, a lot more natural gases and CO2 moving up. So that's the interesting part of it, cross-referencing that data point with another data point on here to say, actually, I figured that out. That's why this is. It works really well in small huddle rooms, small meeting rooms, and you can kind of do it that way.
Sound levels, ambient
noise, you can take out the sound, everything, that you're looking for.
And the key one, energy.
And the key one, energy. That's a key one for us. It's giving us the ability to monitor how much energy has been used in the space.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay.
Brilliant. So we're back with Steve from Uma. Now, Steve, we've spoken about booking resources, but what can you actually monitor of the AV estate?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're I think a key part of understanding what's happening in the room and how it's being used is knowing what equipment's in there. So what we do is we actually allow you to see inside your building all the devices that are connected to the platform. So they can be video conferencing equipment, those sensors we talked about. You want to know that they're online and they're working, and you can do that remotely from Vision here as well. So you can see all those things in here. And then when we go into the resources page, you can also start to see where those resources should be. So if we're talking about the booth upstairs, we can see that we've got a desk sensor in the booth upstairs which monitors occupancy, whether someone's using it. 9 times out of 10 we don't make these booths bookable, they just need to be ad hoc, so you can sort of see who's going to be in there. But some of the main devices that we can do is, let's say if I just jump back to that CO2 sensor, we can just see some information here about the CO2 sensor. We can have a look at the temp, humidity, and then the signal there to the gateway. Now, why is that CO2 temperature sensor important and the signal to the gateway? Well, we don't actually, they're battery powered, but they're self-generating power, so they're self-energy harvesting sensors. So they actually work off of ambient light. So we're looking at about 5 years without having to do anything.
So don't need sunlight shining on it?
Nope, no sunlight, just ambient light. And what that does is it keeps that powered, it's self-powered, which means it's good for the environment as well.
Brilliant, thank you.
No worries.
So we're back with Steve from Milner. Steve, this is your mapping function. Why do I want that in my organisation?
Yeah, visualization, quite simply. You want to be able to see what is going on in the building, and that's more for people coming to the office. So if you're looking at a really cool space like we've got here, you want to know whether your team's coming in, whether you can book the space that you want to use when you get in, and this is a very quick way of us visualizing what's going on. So we can use this scroll bar here, and you can see the red and green availability bars come up on here. You can choose your floor. You can even book in advance. I think what you can do is use this platform to book coming in for 2-3 days in advance, as well as seeing what's going on. Now, if you're wanting to book a meeting room, then you quite simply hold that down, and it will bring up the booking sidebar. And quite without me going through this, you can kind of see these are the sort of things you would get in Outlook. This is synchronized with Outlook, so it works both ways. You can choose your time, you can mark it as a private meeting, you can add your participants, so you can add internal users and external users, choose your slot. You can even add video conferencing, so we've baked in these solutions that let you add in video conferencing like Microsoft Teams. So when you walk into the room at the time of the meeting, your one button dial with your device, whether it be a Yearlink or a Panacast, it's entirely up to you. It's there and ready for you to use.
Can you just show the 3D piece? Because that's just...
Yeah, I can, yeah. So part of the platform is around our spatial data. So what we want to do is help architects and building managers understand what impact space can have if you change things. So we've created an ability for you to knock that into 3D mode, and what you can do is it will render a 3D visualization of the floor. So if you knock down a wall or you change a configuration of desks layouts or kind of sofa areas, then you can visualize what that's going to look like. You can even jump into the map as if it's 3D, and you can kind of walk around the space.
And this is done all part of the onboarding?
All part of our onboarding, yeah. So we've got different flavors of maps. You can even have decorated maps where we kind of go all out and decorate it to look like what you're in now.
And what about if there's another pandemic? How am I going to control the desk booking? And
yeah, well, we'd hope that there wasn't, but we've got this little tog here, which is social distancing. Now, what that does is, as you can see, I've created a simulation to give me a 2-meter office, and what it's done is it's taken all the chairs that can't be used. So we're able to very quickly decommission desks and say, these two can't be used, these two can, because there's a good 2 meters between the two. And if you want it to be relaxed at 1.4 meters or 1 meter, then you can do that, and it will change the simulation as you go along. And that's how it works.